What happens when the family fun? I don't know if you can say this word without getting demonetized. The family fun goes way too far. By Eden, Carlisle. I have no idea, bro. Interesting, but I like the name Eden. Regardless, we're jumping in. That's a peacock, and the Murka flag. Anyways, we'll look. We'll look. We will look.
I felt like being fancy today. Look at my sleeves. Because I realized in like every one of my past videos, or pretty much, I'm just in like a t-shirt or even worse, like my dressing gown and a t-shirt. Style icon. I always look like such a hobo. But you know, we're just homies chilling together. You don't dress up over the top for homie hangouts, right? We're just chilling together in our rooms. You know, in our t-shirts and dressing gowns. But we're real fancy today, okay? Look at these sleeves. High five for effort. Where were we? Oh yeah, inbreeding. Well,
today's topic. Sibling fun. Maybe daddy-daughter. Maybe son-mommy. Who knows?
Not quite yet. I'm kind of jumping the gun there, but we'll talk about that soon, though. I'd also like to say I'm 2 for 2 with Justin Long movies. Another high five. Apparently this movie came out in like 2022. I wish I had seen it in theaters. Like, what was I doing? But the movie Barbarian was not what I was expecting. Actually, I didn't even know what I was expecting going into it. I just thought that it was pretty recommended. Quite a lot of you were bringing it up. So I was like, you know what? It's gotta be pretty good then, right? And it actually was. But it was just super weird. Weird and outlandish. And kind of brutal, which I'm here for. So let's dive right in. Ew. I didn't mean to do the action with it. It just came naturally.
We don't need this long-ass intro. What we need is the incest. Thank you.
Just like being fancy does. Barbarian begins with our main character, Tess, pulling up to her Airbnb. It's late at night, it's raining like hell, it's stormy as
Detroit, Michigan. I thought like Alabama, but you know, you can't have rare cases of incest outside of Alabama.
hell, except when she gets to the door in the lockbox with her code that she was given through the app or through the website, email, whatever, her confirmation email. The keys are not inside the lockbox. Thus, Tess cannot get inside. And it's a rainy, stormy, nasty night. I shouldn't say nasty because I love rain, but when you're in a huff and you're frustrated and kind of in a rush and whatever, the rain is not ideal. I'll just say that. So Tess calls her booking agent, like kind of like, what the hell? I'm here, it's late, it's raining, but there are no keys in the lockbox. How the hell do I get inside the house? The house that I booked and paid for. And in this economy, But of course the booking agent does not pick up. So, you know, Tess leaves her a voicemail, voicing pretty much everything I just said. And then she goes back to sit in her car. Except that's when she notices a light turn on in the house. So she goes back up to the porch to the door and starts knocking on it and ringing the doorbell. And guess who opens it? Pennywise. The beloved clown himself.
Pennywise. Yeah, I'd be out at this point. I'd be out already. Okay, so where is this gonna go? Is this like gonna be like a story where there's gonna be an incest time skip? Is this gonna be a situation where she's gonna discover an incest family? What is this? Where is this gonna lead? Where?
Except it's not Pennywise, obviously. It's Bill Skarsgård, you know, out of the clown suit. It's the middle of the night, so he was just woken up. And he's confused, she's confused, because apparently they both booked the same place at the same time. I don't know how that was allowed to happen, but they both double booked. So he invites her inside so they can figure it out. And of course, she's a little wary about that because, I mean, look at the circumstances. Cautiously, she agrees and goes inside, and they both show each other their confirmations, and they're both legit. So they both actually did book the place. But they still can't get in touch with the agent and all that hullabaloo. And off the bat, I was a little suspicious of Keith, but I think that was solely because it was the guy who played it. I think that was it. Literally. But Keith is super accommodating and nice and is kind of over the top about it. Like, here, I'll make you tea. You don't want tea? I'll make it anyway. And Tess is over there just trying to call up a hotel to try to get a room. Except Keith tells her that it's actually the weekend of a medical convention. So fat luck trying to find a room. Tess reveals to Keith that the reason she's in town and, you know, booked this Airbnb, albeit accidentally double booked, is because she's here for a job interview the next day. So Keith...
That shit will not be double booked. In fact, I'm arguing this will not only be about inbreeding, but since it's called Barbarian, I am assuming there will be human eating as well. Humans will be eaten in more than one way. That's for sure.
proposes that she just stay the night because it's not really the safest neighborhood and staying in her car would be kind of dangerous. So he says, just stay the night. You can have the bedroom. I'll sleep on the couch. She's a little hesitant about it and a little like, kind of like stranger danger, but she acquiesces and she gets the bedroom. Keith gets the couch and his wallet's in the bedroom. So she takes a snapshot. How old am I? She takes a picture of his ID just for safety measures, you know. Even though they just met and in unfortunate, annoying, frustrating circumstances, there's kind of chemistry there, okay? There's a little bit of chemistry, and they eventually warm up to each other, sharing common interests, and they actually do have some, so. But I'm still wary of Keith, okay? They definitely hired Bill Skarsgård for this role, for a reason, kind of like a red herring or something. Anywho, after a little bit of chemistry and bonding, they go to bed. You know,
there will be quite a bit. The question is, how will the bonding take place? Not OG Tim Curry Pennywise. True. But he did do a good job in that movie, not gonna lie. He's a good Pennywise, not gonna lie.
Her in the bedroom, him on the couch. Except during the middle of the night, she's awoken by the creaking of her door, which is now open. Like, did she not lock it when she went to bed? I mean, Keith seems nice and all, but she does not know him, so I would've locked that door real quick. But the door is open. She's a little unsettled by that, so she goes out into the main room, where Keith is asleep on the couch, except he's having, like, night terrors and making little, like, dream yelps and stuff like that, making noise, and, you know. So she wakes him up, and he's startled by that. She startles back, and she asks him, like, did you open my door? And he's like, what? Of course not. Like, what are you doing? Go to bed. So she apologizes, and does go back to bed this time.
See, my door's open at night, even though I closed it. I'm packing my stuff, going into my car, and sleeping in my car. I genuinely, if I realize I booked an Airbnb and there's another person in there, whether it's a man or woman, I'm sleeping in my car. In addition to that, the dude has freaky night terrors. On the other hand, if like the chick would have woken me up in the middle of the night, I'd be like creeped out as well. Like, bro, just sleep in the car at that point.
She's sure that she locks the door. So in the morning, when Tess wakes up, Keith is gone, except he left a note saying, like, I'm out, I'll be back soon enough. P.S. Had a fun time last night. Yeah, you did. But not in that way. They just met, come on. So Tess is running a little behind for her job interview, so she gets dressed real quick and then zips out. Except when she's locking the door behind her and, you know, can see the community around her in daylight, she realizes she's in the middle of a dilapidated, abandoned community. I mean, the house that they're staying in is maintained and pretty well kept, but it's the only—
Yeah, that is question. How did she not notice this driving by? I mean, yes, it's in the night, it's raining, but you can definitely tell that these houses are done for. And if it's the only house that is not done for, I would have questions, yes.
Only one. All the others around them are neglected and abandoned, and no one seems to live there. So it's a real creepy neighborhood. She does not have time to worry about that right then, though, because she might be a little late to her interview if she doesn't hurry up. Her interview with Catherine goes pretty well, and after the interview, Catherine asked her, like, you know, you had to come into town for this interview. Where are you staying? And Tess tells her, oh, I'm just staying over in Brightmoor. And as soon as she says the words Brightmoor, Catherine's like, Brightmoor? You're staying there? And she says, Tess, you should not be staying there. It's dangerous. And Tess is like, no, I'm fine. I'm tough. I'll be good. It's fine. I got a roommate who may or may not be a psychotic alien clown. We're good. So they part ways and Tess goes back to that little house. Except as she's walking up to the front door, a homeless man is running down the street straight at her and yelling at her. So she quickly enters the code for the lockbox, gets the keys out, and just makes it inside as he comes right up to the door. He's like, get out there, little girl. Get out of that house. As if the whole neighborhood experience wasn't creepy already. So
she should have listened. Oh, it's the Barbarian movie. I've seen this. I have not. She should have gotten out. Like, the homeless man is probably not the crazy one. The homeless man is probably the one that tried to warn her, and now she's gonna end up, in a horrific situation. I'm assuming. I'm assuming that the homeless man actually tried to save her because he knows. A homeless homie is definitely dying.
Obviously spooked, or a little more than spooked, Tess calls the police, except she's told that there are no available units at the time. So in other words, Tess just pretty much has to, you know, rough it out. So she makes sure all the doors are locked and frantically runs to her room and starts packing her bag real quick, trying to get the hell out of there. And then she just waits inside, maybe waiting out the homeless guy to leave, or waiting for Keith to get home so she can explain that she's getting the hell out of there. But while she's cooped up and staying locked in the house, She goes to the bathroom and realizes there's no toilet paper, so she looks around and ends up going down into the basement. The basement. Basements are never good.
My basement is really nice. You should all come there. I have candy and cookies and milk. The thing is, well, if there was a cat, that she could have just alternatively used the cat as toilet paper, but what do I know? I never did that, but there's a meme going around where people do this for some odd reason. It's a trope in movies where people just pick up the cat.
Good, never good. Except that's when the basement door shuts and automatically locks. It's one of those lovely doors. So
yeah, nah. Why is she still there? Why is she still there? Why is she still there, Lies? It's all rotten duck milk. Yes, I have milk down there. What do you mean? You eat cookies and drink milk?
Now she's stuck in the basement. Except she realizes she left her phone upstairs and that she has the house keys in her pocket.
Oh yeah, you're fucked. You're fucked. Now you're fucked.
So when Keith gets home, he's gonna be screwed. But she notices a window in the basement, so she looks around for something to smash said window so she can get out. She comes across this little rope that's going into the wall. So out of—
Do not pull the rope. Do not pull the rope. I beg of you, do not pull the rope. Whatever you do, do not pull. You could just try to break open the door, but she's gonna pull the rope.
Curiosity, I guess, she starts pulling and tugging it, and it slowly opens up a hidden door in the wall. And it's just this dark, black, horrific hallway descending beyond. See? This is why you don't go in basements. They're all horrible.
So there will be diabolical stench coming from this basement. I can guarantee it. You have showers at the basement. You know, since it's Jewish kids in the basement, supposedly. Allegedly, people tell me. I guess it makes sense.
So she's like, nope, I'm not going in there. Hell no. Hell no. So she just sits in the basement and just waits for Keith to get home. Except after she's down there for a little while, I guess curiosity and boredom gets the better of her because she decides to actually go in there and explore it a little bit.
I'm bored. Let's go down a dark corridor. My God.
It doesn't look like it goes that far. Except at the end of that tunnel or dark hallway, there's a room. It's this hauntingly horrific, dirty room with an old—
Oh, they make homemade corn down there. Oh, okay.
Dirty stained mattress, an old type of camera set up on a tripod, and a bucket in the corner. Not to mention a bloody handprint on
the cum bucket
the wall. And Tess is immediately like, oh, hell no. So she runs right back into the basement, and thankfully right then is when Keith is getting home, so she's frantically tapping and thudding on the window like, Keith, I'm in here. So Keith comes over, and he helps her budge the window open so she can give him the keys, so he can go inside the house and unlock the basement door, so she can get the hell out of that hellhole. And when Keith unlocks the basement and she comes back up, she's frantic, she's insistent that she's getting the hell out of there, and the whole time while she's quickly grabbing her things and putting all her stuff together, she's saying like, there's that horrible room downstairs, I'm not going back there, this and this, and she's trying to tell Keith like, there's a dirty old stained mattress, a camera and a bucket, something horrific probably happened down there. And you know, Keith is nice enough, he seems like a nice enough dude, but even then, he's still the whole time not believing her.
He's super big, maybe because he is the one filming, and he poking know what a comeback. I do know what that is. The Minotaur in the hidden room too. Morning Glory milking farm, a classic. Hi Joe, how you doing? Hope you're doing good. That's a legal corn site. It might be Keith is the man. He is the one. I think he's the one definitely filming this.
Or just discounting her story, or for lack of a better word, mansplaining. Because he says something like, it's a basement, of course it's gonna be like a camera or bucket. That's just normal basement things. So Keith insists on going down to check it himself. Tess wants to get the hell out of there, even has her bag over her shoulder by the door. But Keith asks her, like, can you just stay while I check it out so the basement door doesn't lock on me? And she begrudgingly obliges, even though she wants to leave right then and there. Foreshadowing, she probably should have. So she agrees to stay while he checks it out, but she says she's not going back down there, understandably. So Keith goes down, she waits, and then keeps waiting, and he seems to take a while. So she goes up to the basement door and kind of yells down for him. There's like no response. So very begrudgingly, she goes down into the basement again, through that hidden doorway, down that dark hall, and looks for him in that little snuff film room.
Girl, you're cooked. Girl, you're cooked. You're absolutely cooked. There is no way. Nah, bro. Nah. She is not that smart.
But Keith's not there. Except now she has her phone with her, so her phone flashlight, so she can actually see. She notices there's another kind of hidden door at the end of the hall.
These people are not smart. You literally could just, leave the house. He's not coming up. Call the police to investigate. Or just wait. Why? Why? You don't know. This man is a stranger. He bonded too much.
And she peels it open. Ew. And it's like this big dark tunnel with exposed ground and rock with a staircase descending down into pitch black. It's like a
And guess what she does? She goes down anyways into the incest pit.
Stairway to hell. And she calls Keith's name down into that tunnel from hell. And she can hear him screaming. So she goes down. She goes down. And at the bottom of the staircase / tunnel from hell, there's more tunnels. And she sees this little area that has these old rusty dog cages with food bowls in them. So she's underground now, right? And she continues down this creepy main tunnel. And she's kind of warily making her way along and calling out Keith's name, but there's no response. And then all of a sudden, in the creepiest way possible, Keith comes crawling out of the dark tunnel toward Tess. Ew! That genuinely creeped me out so much. Why was he crawling? But Keith is obviously panicked as hell, and he's like, there's someone else down here, they bit me, they're coming, and this and this. And so she's like, okay, let's get the hell out of here. Except Keith is insistent that the way out is the way he just came, even though Tess just came into the tunnel system.
Yeah, Keith is they bit him. Staircase to hell. This is the staircase. It might as well be. For what they're gonna find there. Yeah, Keith is 100% involved in this. Keith is 100% the one luring people down there, 100%.
So she's like, no, it's this way where I just came, which makes sense. Keith's like, no, it's this way. Let's go before they get us. There's someone else down here. So they're practically playing tug-of-war for which direction they should go. Right as this humanoid creature appears out of the darkness behind Keith and grabs him and slams his head repeatedly against the wall until he's dead. And then it lets out this monstrous type shriek in Tess's face. Except one thing this movie does a lot is cuts, which they do well. Because right as this...
Run, motherfuckers, no stairway. Well, it's too late, buddy. It's too late. The incest granny just got home and deleted him. It's Jover.
Monstrous creature in this creepy dark tunnel is bellowing and roaring in Tess's face. It cuts to a happy sunshine shot. And in this happy sunshine shot, we see a dude in a nice red car. He's got the top down, he's cruising along the coast, he's blasting his music and singing along, time of his life. And this dude is named AJ. And AJ is a Hollywood actor. And right as he's cruising along and singing his tunes, he gets a phone call, probably from his agents or something of that sort, some of the higher-ups above him. And they tell him that he's pretty much just been fired from the show he started because of sexual misconduct allegations his co-star has just made about him. So AJ is immediately like, what? What is she talking about? That's not true. And the agent on the phone tells him, well, there's an investigation opening up, so we'll get to the bottom of it. But for now, you're pretty much fired. And they also tell him, oh yeah, there might be an article in the Hollywood press about it tomorrow, so that kind of sucks. So AJ's life kind of went up in flames in the span of like 2 minutes. So now his career is on the line, and after speaking to his accountant, he realized that these up-and-coming lawsuits are gonna bankrupt him pretty much. But the accountant does bring up,
like, is this before? Like, how is this gonna, is bro gonna go there? Regardless, okay? If this is before, did bro just randomly decide to live in the basement? All of a sudden, if he is the one down, if that's the one down there, because like that's the only woman. It looked like a woman, at least, whatever that was.
That AJ has a couple properties that I guess he's renting that he could sell. It wouldn't do much. It would prolong the inevitable by a few months. So as a last resort for money, AJ plans on liquidating his assets or selling some of his rental properties. One property in particular being the very same house that Tess and Keith double booked, the one in Detroit, Michigan. So AJ flies out to that house to kind of get it up and ready for sale. Except when AJ gets there, he realizes there's a car outside, and when he gets inside, there's people's belongings everywhere. So he calls up the booking agent, and he asks her, like, is there someone staying here? And she says, no, we haven't had anyone rent this place out in at least a couple weeks. So does that mean Keith and Tess have been missing for 2 weeks now? So then he's like, well, if no one's been renting the place, then do I have squatters here? Because people's stuff is all around the house. There's obviously someone who's been living here. But she has no answers for him. But since AJ's back in town, he meets up with one...
The woman is involved. The woman is involved.
his old friend from Detroit, I guess, and they go out clubbing. Except while they're out partying, AJ's friend, who has obviously heard the rumors or the news reports about the AJ allegations, he asks him, like, what really happened? And it's in this conversation where, in so many words, AJ pretty much admits to actually committing the sexual assault, but he's kind of walking it back the whole time. He's telling his friend, like, well, she wasn't really into it at first, and yeah, she might have been saying no, but she wanted it. She wanted me. So it's now we realize that the allegations against this AJ character, this AJ Gilbride, are most likely true. The next morning when AJ's back at the Detroit house, where Tess and Keith have gone missing.
If he's going down there as well, he's cooked to... she's probably in one of those... Since the cages are down there, she's probably in those cages. Hi, Cocos. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hello. Mr. Pinned.
Missing from, but no one knows. AJ is hungover from last night's partying, and he's looking through all the belongings in the house, trying to find the identification of the owners. Not finding much, and definitely not finding the squatters. He decides to look into the basement, but just when he opens the...
Wait, why are... Okay. She took a photo of the guy. Shouldn't they at least have, like, passports somewhere around the IDs? Because she took a photo of that ID. And the phone's there. Or did somebody collect it afterwards? I'm okay, just resting. Yeah, that's important.
Basement door and doesn't even go down. He hears, like, a thud. So AJ goes to the kitchen to arm himself with this tiny little pig sticker knife. It's, like, this long. So, all armored up, he goes down into the basement. And once he's down into the basement, that's when he notices the hidden door and the creepy dark hallway that descends beyond it. So with his flashlight and tiny little knife, he goes down the hallway, and he makes his way into that horrific kind of snuff film room. But AJ is not disconcerted at all by the contents they're in, or the fact that there's a hidden hallway at all. He only sees this new extra space as a chance to increase the property value. He even rushes back upstairs to Google it. So AJ, who's obviously not put off by this secret hall or horrific room, he takes a measuring tape downstairs and starts getting the square...
Bro started immediately. Saw a creepy hallway and immediately started, I can sell this for more.
Footage of the new space, and he's extra ecstatic when he finds that second hidden door, which leads down into that tunnel from hell. He's like, wow, even more square footage. Wow, I can charge an arm and a leg for this house. So still extending his tape measurer, he goes all the way down the tunnel stairs and then into the tunnel space, and he sees that same little clearing with the dog cages. But guess what? That does not bother him at all. And apparently he's not perturbed to be going backwards down this dark, creepy, ominous, mysterious hall. And as he's working his way backwards down this dark, creepy tunnel or hallway, he sees a little room with blankets all over the floor and an old TV that's on and playing a breastfeeding tutorial video. And he's grossed out by it, but not weirded out by it, or the fact that there's a TV on playing down there. Except right then, something way down the dark hallway pulls his measuring tape, like, and he lets it go, and it disappears down into the dark. He gets his little pig sticker knife out, but drops it because he's so scared.
Bro has the little small knife now. Hey, that's an average size knife. Stop cock-shaming the knife. Dude is business-minded. Creepy hallway downstairs. Didn't know of it. Immediately starts measuring it out and looking if he can ask for more money.
Picks it up and then sprints down the opposite way into the dark. And as he's running down these dark, confusing tunnel hallways, he falls down into a pit. And that's when a metal grate, bing, closes on top of him. And guess who else is in?
How long have they been doing that? That this is so well built. And where is the inbreeding?
In that pit, Tess, who's alive and well. And then we get another well-contrasting cutscene. Except this one's a throwback, a flashback. It's showing the original owner of this house, a guy named Frank, leaving to get in his car. Except you can see this whole community is just like beautiful pastel perfection. It's all well kept.
What the fuck did they do that this ended up like this? The fuck? This is like... Are they all down there? The entire community?
Is all maintained, it's bustling with life and people, and it looks like a happy, nice, healthy place to live. So flashback Frank here gets into his car, drives into town, and goes to the store to pick up baby items, or baby supplies. So the worker is helping him get diapers and plastic sheets, and she even gives him a VHS tape of how to nurse. And while Frank comes across as a little weird or gauche, it seems like a fairly normal encounter, until when he's in the parking lot and all his stuff has been put in the trunk. He's sitting there and watching this woman get into her own car, and Frank decides to follow this woman home. And once he's near her house, he goes to the trunk of his car and puts on this electrician's outfit or costume, I guess. Goes up to the woman's house, and he says, there have been some outages in the neighborhood. I need to do a quick checkup in your house. So she lets him in because, he's got the electrician's
That's crazy. Okay, is he just like kidnapping women?
Suit on, so he looks the part, except the name tag says Carlos. This guy is no Carlos, but he goes into her house and into the bathroom and checks the taps, but then unlocks her bathroom window. And then he's like, oh, we're all good, there's no
So you can go grab her at night, probably, I'm assuming. How long has Hobie been doing this?
problems here, and leaves. And then when flashback, Frank returns home, we see Frank go into the house, go down the hall to the basement, and when he opens the door, we hear a woman screaming. So Frank seems like another lovely dude, doing only the loveliest of things, right? Makes you wonder what all that baby stuff was for, right? Now cutting back to the present, where AJ and Tess are now in the pit together, and AJ is obviously freaking the hell out, and Tess is over there like, shh, trying to quiet him. Like, don't upset her. You don't want to make her upset. And AJ is like, who the hell is her? And right on cue, her reaches down through the metal crate with a baby bottle to feed them. And Tess tells AJ, drink it. She wants you to drink it. She thinks we're her babies. And still...
Oh well. Side hustle kidnapping women. That's and making corn of it apparently. Because why is there since there's a camera, that man was making corn of it too. And now this whatever this woman is tries to feed them. That's crazy work.
AJ's like, hell nah. So the creature woman humanoid thing moves the bottle over to Tess, and Tess drinks some. I don't know what's in that. The creature from above moves the bottle back over to AJ, who still won't drink. I mean, can we really blame him? Ew. The mother creature, the humanoid monster thing, she's concerned that one of her babies is not eating. So she rips open the metal grate and jumps down into the pit. And she comes over and like cradles and kind of pets Tess. And then she goes over to AJ and does this creepy kind of baby talk in his face. He's not having it. He's grossed the hell out. So the humanoid creature, with all the ease in the world, grabs AJ, kind of crawls her way out of there so fast. And it's a pretty deep pit. So I don't know what kind of creature she is, but she's real strong. And the mother...
What the heck? What the heck? Yeah, she traded the incest looks for the physical strength, it appears.
Type creature. She takes AJ back to that one room he saw earlier with all the blankets scattered around and that little TV playing a nursing video, a nursing tutorial. And since he didn't drink from the bottle, she tries to force him to actually breastfeed from her.
Well, that goes out of the window. Here we go. Now comes the truly nasty stuff. Oh no. It just gives you power. That's horrible, bro.
And he's obviously putting up a fight, but she's strong as hell. I don't know what the hell she is, but she is strong. That sucks. But there are a lot of parallels and a lot of symbolism in this movie, and I felt like in this scene, there was a parallel there. In the same way that AJ forced himself on his co-star, he was getting forced upon right now against his will, in a different way, but still. But in the mother creature's rush to get AJ out of there and fed, she left the metal grate open, so now Tess can get out. And once Tess is out of the pit, she's running down the hall, trying to get the hell out, except she doesn't get much farther down the hall when she trips over that open measuring tape. Which, if you've ever used one of those are loud as hell. So the mother creature obviously hears and starts chasing after Tess. So Tess bolts for it and makes her way up to the basement once again, except once she's back up there, she realizes that the basement door is shut and locked again, because it automatically locks when it shuts. She finds something, smashes.
That's horrendous, bro. Suck my titties. Mommy, you want your milkies? Mommy's gonna give you your milkies.
Smashes the window and is trying to scramble her way out. And right then, that homeless man comes and helps drag her out right as the mother reaches the window. And the mother creature reaching out and then sinking back into the dark. That's one hell of a creepy shot. Ugh. Ew. And this is the same homeless man that was running down the street toward Tess and yelling at her. He was trying to warn Tess. He was trying to help her because he knows what the hell is down in that basement. So the homeless man, who's named Andre, is trying to drag Tess away from the house. We need to leave. We need to get out of here because at nightfall, the mother will come out of the house and she will look for Tess. Except Tess, bless her heart, does not want to leave AJ down there. You know, even though he would kind of deserve it. She's like, no, I can't leave AJ down there. He's gonna die. I don't know what's gonna happen to him. So cutting back down to the basement, I guess AJ has finished his nursing session.
Nursing session? No! More of the story. Never reject your mother's love. Even if your mom is a monster. That is very true. That is very true.
Because he's wandering the tunnels again, trying to get the hell out of there, except he sees a little bell system on the wall that has a cord leading somewhere. So he follows the cord down this equally dark, creepy hallway, and it leads to a door. And inside that creepy door, there's an even creepier room with an even creepier man, ancient, withered, decrepit man, in the bed. And there's a
That's the dude! That's the dude! That's the dude. What the fuck?
blank TV on, just playing like the fuzzies, and this old man is bedridden and seems to be sick. But this old man is actually Frank, the OG owner of the house, who's somehow still alive. He's just very old. Then it cuts back up to the surface with Tess. She's managed to work her way over to civilization to a gas station, and she uses the worker's phone to call the police, and she tries to tell the police what the hell is going on, but she leads them over to the house where this all went down, and she's saying like, he's in there, you gotta save him. The monster creature, whatever, is in there with him. You gotta get him out, it's dangerous. And the police, straight off the bat, are super dismissive, probably thinking she's a junkie, a druggie, and then they get another more important call and just ditch her. So Tess has to deal with this on her own. So jumping back to the underground with AJ and Frank now. Frank is, sick and sputtering and coughing and he can't speak. And Frank, I say everyone in these horror movies is creepy, but Frank takes the cake. Oh my gosh, look at those creepy beady eyes. This guy just looks pure evil. Ew. And AJ thinks that Frank is, I guess, a victim of the mother creature and that he's stuck down there with him as well. I mean, he has no way of knowing Frank's past. Yet.
I think AJ's about to become either a baby or a husband, depending on the situation. Damn, Cocos. Damn you! Breastfeeding gives superpower. That's new. Well, you never know! You never know until you've tried it. Maybe it does. Or I don't think it's the breastfeeding. I think it's the daddy-daughter relationship or whatever this is going on here.
As AJ's looking around the room a little bit, he sees a stash of...
oh my god. But the way she looks, not gonna lie, the way she looks, it's been quite a few, women. So we have Blondie, I cannot read that. We have Brunette, Crazy, Ruby, Brigante, Pregnant, Brenda, very old, Asian Bitter, Blondie, Heavy, Face Scar, Doctor, can't read that one, is it very fat? I have no idea, bro. Crazy work.
VHS tapes, a whole...
Alright, Gabby, Liquor Clear, Smiley Old, Jane's Screamer, Hitchhiker. Bro, he made tapes of every woman out there. You couldn't read one breast. I couldn't, actually.
Collection of them with girls' names and descriptions on them. And he looks over to the TV, which is on, just blank, and there's a VHS that has just been ejected. So he pushes it back in, and while it doesn't show what AJ sees on the screen, it's most likely Frank assaulting one of the girls he kidnapped. And, subsequently recorded in that snuff room that they originally found. And AJ, who really isn't one to speak, let's be honest, is like, what the hell is wrong with you? You're a monster, what the hell is this? And as AJ is yelling and telling Frank off, even though he's not the greatest messenger for that, Frank is rummaging over in the bedside table, pulls out a gun, and then subsequently shoots himself right in front of AJ. And, obviously, of course, not out of guilt for what he's done.
Bro, what didn't do this out of guilt? I got caught! Burned the tapes! Delete my browser history! Death!
Oh, through the years. But I think solely because AJ brought up the fact that he was going to call the police. And then jumping back to upstairs or ground level, Tess breaks into the house because she left her car keys inside, gets her car keys, gets in her car, and by this time, it's pretty much nighttime, which makes it so much worse, but that means the mother creature can exit the house now. But as Tess gets in her car and backs up, so she's facing the house, the mother leaves the front door of the house and starts running toward Tess. So understandably, Tess puts the pedal to the metal and then rams the creature woman until she's pinned up between the car and the house. And the creature feature mother thing appears dead, or so Tess assumes. Tess goes back into the house.
Oh, assumes, yeah, you're cooked. Bro rage quit out of life after getting found. Bro was caught in 4K.
Back into the basement and back into the tunnels to go and find AJ. At the same time, though, AJ has just taken Frank's gun, because Frank's not going to need it anymore, and gone back into the hallways himself. And since it's so pitch black...
Oh, shoot. Is he going to shoot her? Oh, the sensor bar saved our eyes, true. Is he going to shoot her?
Tunnels, when him and Tess come across each other, he shoots her, not realizing it's Tess at first. So great. This is what you get for trying to help somebody. They shoot you. So AJ and Tess limp their way out of the tunnel system together, and
he didn't know! It's not his fault, he didn't know! He did not know.
Back up to the basement, and finally outside the house, except Tess's car is totaled, and apparently AJ left his keys down in the tunnels, because of course he did, but Tess tells him, I think I know somewhere safe. So her and AJ make their way over to the homeless man and his encampment shelter type place. Andre explains to them that Frank is the OG house owner, not AJ. He says to AJ, like, you may own the paper for it, but that is Frank's house. And Andre explains that Frank was a serial rapist who would kidnap women and have kids with them, except then he would have kids with their kids. So there was a whole bunch of incest and inbreeding going on, and Andre says after so many years, that's what produced the mother. Except I don't think there's enough window of time for that to happen. I feel like it would take generations of incest and inbreeding for the severity of mutation to take place, i.e. the mother, who's apparently around like 40 years old. And after Andre...
Okay, yes, true. That is very true. Bro got so traumatized he shoots every woman he sees. The titties traumatized him. Bro is now 100% gay. He is not touching another woman. That's for sure. Yeah, it would probably take a while. So he was already old when he was down there. Like, how many could he have produced? Depending on how old he was. Frank, you freak.
Ray tells him that. AJ kind of takes up the mantle and is like, we need to get Tess help because, you know, I accidentally shot her. I hurt someone and that matters. I need to fix it. And in this moment, I don't think he's just talking about Tess. And after Andre's done explaining to Frank and the mother, he calls her the mother, that whole situation, he says, oh, you know, but don't worry, we're pretty safe in here. The mother never comes to this area. She never comes this far. But he speaks a moment too soon because right then the mother breaks in and starts tearing Andre apart, like rips his arm off and rips him to pieces. So obviously freaked out by that. AJ and Tess scramble off, but except Tess is obviously slower because she's being shot, I think like in the stomach. But AJ is sprinting off ahead and leaving her for dead in his true chivalrous fashion. So as AJ and Tess are running off, they realize their only method of escape is going up this water tower. So they both scramble their way up the water tower, and AJ obviously makes it there first because he's not nearly as injured as Tess is. Thanks to AJ. And once AJ and Tess are at the top, and, you know, the mother's in pursuit, AJ realizes he still has the gun, except in his true idiotic fashion, he fumbles with it and drops it off the side of the water tank, so it falls to the ground at the bottom. And right then, right after AJ the Brave has dropped the gun, that is when the mother makes her way up to the top of the tower with them, and the heroic AJ, in a last-ditch attempt to save himself, he pushes Tess over the side, assuming that the mother, who views Tess as her baby, will leap off the side to save her. And the mother does. The mother leaps, like, Olympic diver style, to try and save Tess as she's falling. AJ truly has no redemption, does he? So after Tess and the mother have fallen off the...
I mean, hey, at this point, survival of the fittest, bro. AJ, no! AJ did it regardless. Survival of the fittest here.
Side, AJ goes back down to the ground to see if Tess is alive. And in fact, the mother did catch up to Tess. And from the little I know of physics, I don't think that's possible, right? Because Tess fell a little bit before the mother, but whatever. Not to...
Dude, you're saying it's physically impossible, yet she tears somebody's arm off. Like, come on, at this point, nah.
To be the type of person, but I don't think that makes sense physics-wise. But AJ discovers that Tess actually is alive, and the mother did save her by breaking her fall, and he's trying to get Tess up, but Tess is in too much pain, probably winded as hell, probably a few broken ribs and whatever else. Except the whole time, AJ is gaslighting her so hard, saying stuff like, I didn't fully mean to push you off, you slipped, like you were moving too much, you slipped from my grasp, or as if she didn't just experience him pushing her off firsthand. So Tess is alive, but so is the mother, somehow after that fall. Anywho, this is not good news for AJ, because the mother gets up, grabs AJ by the face, and then gouges out his eyes with her long, nasty talon nails. She gouges out his eyes, and then rips...
Yeah, bro is dead. Bro did not redeem. Do not redeem it! It's over. Long live the king!
Rips his head apart. See? Supernatural abilities, what? So down goes AJ. And there's no coming back from that. This is a situation he cannot gaslight himself out of. He's dead. And Tess is still on the ground because she's injured. So the mother goes over to Tess and starts comforting her and mothering her. And in the mother's, I guess you could call it broken English. I don't know what that is. She's trying to say, like, home or back home or something, indicating that she wants to take Tess back to the tunnels because that's her home, that's her safe place. And pretty close to Tess is the gun that AJ fumbled and dropped off the water tower. So as the mother is trying to comfort Tess and trying to pick her up and move her back to the tunnels, Tess picks up the gun and puts it to the mother's face. And with a brief pause of remorse, Tess pulls the trigger. And you know, it probably puts the mother out of her misery. And then we see Tess hobbling off, limping her way hopefully towards civilization.
Very interesting, kind of worth it. Deserved. Yeah, kind of deserved, yeah. Rip Bozo.
Hopefully to get some medical attention. And then it cuts to black. I knew nothing about Barbarian going into it before I watched it. And I think that's the best way to watch it. You get the best experience that way. And I ended up actually really liking it. I think it was well done. And like I said, there's a lot of subtle themes and I can never say it. Subliminal parallels throughout, and a lot of poetic justices in it. I liked it. Sure, there were a few things you had to suspend your belief on, like how the mother creature came about and all that she was. But you know, I don't really care how Patchwork.
Rip Mom, I like you. Well, you could have been her child. Go ahead. Yeah, that's all. It took one gunshot. Well, to the head. So, I mean, at this point, they went through enough at this point, and she deserved the rest as well. Absolute cinema, true.
The road is, if the scenery's nice, and as long as the movie is entertaining and well done enough, you know, you can suspend your belief a little bit, you know. I really liked it, and I like the cast I got for it. The cast is perfect. And throwing Bill Skarsgård in there as the nice guy who actually wasn't evil, that was a red herring. Because as soon as I saw it was Bill Skarsgård and that he was kind of over the top nice and over the top accommodating, I was kind of like, yeah, he's gonna turn on her. He's gonna be evil. But he wasn't.
True, I thought this as well, cause, right? I thought he was, like, waiting down there just to, like, get her down there, but I guess bro was just an innocent poor sacrifice.
So let me know your thoughts on this movie, and if you actually liked it, I liked it, that means you should too.
That's a bad frame. Regardless, that was interesting. To be fair, I do believe that, not gonna lie, this needed a little more inbreeding. This needed a little more explanation on the inbreeding, because how can she look so fucked up after like 3 generations? Not even the Habsburgs looked like this one. Not even those dudes looked like this one. So how did you get this fucked up? Crazy work. Crazy work. We should watch this eventually. All the men in the movie were stupid AF. I know a few men that would look at this thing and be like, they would just go smash. Anyways, like, comment, and subscribe.